Well, good morning. Here it is. We've made it Friday morning. We're on the threshold of the weekend. Today is January the 19th. I had to make sure. Anyway, this month is just about over. But anyway, I hope you had a good Thursday. Hope that you were able to kind of start working, toward finishing up, maybe some things, on today, now that it's Friday morning and God has, blessed us with another day of opportunity, because that's what each day is. It's a day of opportunity, to serve the Lord and do what, He wants us to do. But anyway, hope that you're feeling well. I hope that you're well rested. This morning, I want to share with you a devotional entitled A Forward Path. Psalm chapter 37, verse 23. It says, The Lord directs the steps of the godly. He delights in every detail of their lives. After God rejected Saul as, the king of Israel, the prophet Samuel, he was having a hard time. And then one day the Lord said the following in 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 1. You have mourned long enough for Saul. I have rejected him as king of Israel. So fill your flask with olive oil and go to Bethlehem. Find a man named Jesse who lives there, for I have selected one of his sons to be my king. Excuse me. Samuel, he obeyed the Lord and he went to Bethlehem, which created quite a stir. Bethlehem was, it was a small, obscure place. In fact, the prophet Micah described it in Micah 5:2 as only a small village among all the people of Judah. So therefore, when a guy like Samuel showed up in this small little town, everyone was fearful. But Samuel, he just simply wanted to meet Jesse and his sons because he knew that one of the sons would be the next king of Israel. The Lord had told him that. Now this reminds us, that God usually leads us only one step at a time. He doesn't always give us a detailed blueprint, of where we will be in the future. Rather, it's a journey of faith. There may be times in our lives, when the Lord clearly directs us to do certain things. But, there may be many other situations in which we must just simply take, biblical principles and to the best of our ability, just live them. Sometimes we will need to prayerfully take steps of faith. In the book of Acts, we find an interesting story about a man named Philip who was preaching in Samaria. People were coming to faith and miracles were taking place. But then God spoke to him through an angel and directed him to go to the desert. God didn't tell him, what was going to happen after that. Excuse me. The message was simply, go to the desert. How easily Philip, he could have argued and said, well, excuse me, Lord, we're having a revival here. Great things are happening. Why should I go to the desert? What's in the desert? Well, to Philip's credit, he just obeyed. And there in the desert, he saw an entourage of chariots. And in the midst of them was a foreign dignitary from Ethiopia who had, he'd been in Jerusalem, searching for God. He had not found him there. But he was reading aloud from the scroll of Isaiah, that described the suffering Messiah. In other words, he was reading from Isaiah chapter 53. Now, when Philip saw this, he knew why he was there. God had sent Philip to talk to this man. When God, tells us to do something, we need to do it. Just obey whatever it is he wants us to do. You see, God's way becomes, becomes plain when we start walking in it. Obedience to revealed truth guarantees guidance in matters unrevealed. I've been there. And many times we don't know what to do until we take that step of faith. And then when we take that step of faith, we realize what the next steps is. What has God given you to do right now? See, that's a question for all of us. Just do it. Don't worry about a year from now or 10 years from now. Just do what God has placed before you today. And he will show you what you need to do next. I've been in those situations where, it just took me taking that step of faith, and then God revealed the next steps of what he wanted me to do. And so I hope that encourages you here on this Friday, morning, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And as always, on Friday, if you find yourself near Hydro on Sunday morning, come worship with us at Hydro First Baptist Church. But anyway, hope you have a great day. And remember, Angie and I, we love you guys, and we're praying for you. Lord willing, we'll see you soon.